You may know by now, may have seen part of the press conference yesterday, that FADY Daghers, get to know that name, is Montreal's new police chief. He was officially sworn in, as I said yesterday, and he joins us on the line right now. Chief Daghers, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Rand.
We have a couple of questions we want to ask. I think a lot of people would like to get to know you. I know you were in Longueuil running the service there for a while, rather some innovative police policies, procedures, which seem to work quite well. How do you translate that into what you're going to do in Montreal with a much, much bigger force? And a force, I think, and we could all maybe agree, has been running the way it runs for a long, long time and may not be open to change.
Well, I've way before Longueuil, I was a veteran from Montreal Police for 25 years. So I know pretty well the inside of the police department. But you're right, it's more complex, it's bigger, it's a bigger challenge. But I think it's going to be extremely complicated to bring the same innovation that we used to have in Longueuil to Montreal. That's not the idea, and to be honest, that's not my objective. But the spirit of the way we were doing policing in Longueuil, we will bring it to Montreal, absolutely. But for now, to be honest with you, when I did my speech yesterday, my biggest challenge is the recruitment of the police officer and the retention of some of them to stay in Montreal.
Well, let me follow up on that. Why do you think then it's become more challenging to recruit police? Why don't people want to be part of the Montreal police force?
Well, I don't know if it's only about the police of Montreal, but in general, the new generation are looking for different challenge. And we have to explain to them exactly what will be the job in Montreal. We have to be able to demystify what exactly they're going to be doing for the next 30 years. I think there is some misunderstanding as what it is to become a cop in Montreal. I know that in Montreal it's the biggest challenge, is more pressure on the police officer, there's more media on them, you cannot make any mistake without being judged. But on the meantime, if there's one place where you can make a difference in the whole province of Quebec, it is in Montreal. And I know that those police officers that are sworn to become a police officer, they're here to help and serve. Well, I know it's complex, but on the meantime, to have a career in Montreal, it gives you the opportunity to have 150 different opportunities inside the police department. They are working in different departments, and it is exciting, but it comes with some challenge.
Chief Daghers, I guess I want to say congratulations first and foremost. And when we're talking about recruitment, how important a role does representation play in that?
Yes,
because
that's a great question, Ms. Hall, because yesterday I mentioned one of the key objectives I'm going to have is to meet the people from the community, for all the communities, to make them come meet us and we're going to expose to them what's the police career. Because right now we are barely between 5 to 10% of the people representing the community of Montreal coming from the racial, the ethnic community. So I need to be able to hire more Anglophone in the police and more people coming from the minority community.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah. You know, we've talked a lot about there's been some history, not very good history, between police and minority communities here in the past. You know that as well as anybody else. How do you fix that?
Well, I did mention it yesterday that there's a mistrust between part of the community. It comes from the English community and the minority with the police. It comes with the issue of the racial profiling. Racial profiling has been a huge issue in the police and in the community, and I think one of the best way we're going to be able to tackle it and to advance is to put our police officer in the community, stay with them, live with them, understand what's going on inside the community. So what I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be in the next 3 months meeting all the leaders inside the community to see exactly what's going on, to understand, to listen, and bring my people in the community and try to build a new trust. It's going to take time, to be honest with you. I'm going to be transparent. It's not going to happen very fast, but I believe we did it in Saint-Michel neighborhood when I used to be there. And when I became a commander in Saint-Michel neighborhood, it was 2005. There were like so many fear between the police and the community. We start building the trust, and after 5 years, we saw and we felt that the trust came back. So we're going to try to do the same thing in the whole island. but it's going to take from both sides and understanding and forgiveness, because we're not perfect. I'm going to have an approach extremely human and with humility, because I'm going to make mistakes myself. And people are going to have to be able to understand that this is not conscious. We're trying to do the best we can, but the willing is there. We really want to make difference.
My goodness, I'm taking in your words. I'm loving everything that I'm hearing. It's just such a different approach. And speaking of a different approach, some of the work that was done in Longueuil was very much out of the box, right? Like when we talk about the community policing, we talk about potentially unarmed officers. Are those things that you would consider bringing to Montreal?
Well, in Longueuil, just to come back on your remark, the unarmed police officer and civilian, they were only doing 5 weeks training. Well, I don't know if it's going to be possible to do it in Montreal now or in the next years. But again, the spirit of this approach that we did in Longueuil, for sure I'm going to bring it with my team in Montreal. But way before we do that, we have between 15 to 20% of people missing on the field. So we need to hire more police officers to be able to, before you start making the meetings and try to get closer to the community, we need to have enough police officers answering the 911 calls. So the biggest challenge that I have now for the next year is to make sure that the police officers are enough on the field to answer the calls. And then after that, trust me, we'll find a way to build the bridges between us and the community. And this is one of my major priorities.
So, Chief Daguerre, speaking of community, we've been talking now for a while. We will hear from people every now and then saying, you know what I miss? I miss the cop on the beat, the cop in the street who I got to know in the community.
100% agree with you.
Can that be the future of policing, or have we passed that and there's no going back?
No, we didn't pass it. I don't know if it's going to be exactly that future, but just to mention the cop, police officer on the beat, well, the spirit of it, maybe he's going to be on the bike, maybe he's going to be closer to you. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but definitely police officer being in the community, on the beat, on the bike, are really reserved to be close to the community and stay with the community and be able to build some trust between us during the school class hours, after, in the community. I don't know yet. But the spirit of the cops walking, getting closer, like in Longueuil, what we did, this is exactly what we did. We put them on the beat, and they stayed 12 months a month on the beat, all the time, in the community without answering 911 calls. When are we going to be able to do it? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be exactly that, but I am telling you, give us a few months, maybe a year or two, but you're going to see some change.
Aside from the racial bias, one of the criticisms we've heard in the past is that the police officers aren't actually a part of the communities that they're policing, that they're coming from outside communities. Will there be any effort to change that or to integrate them a little bit more?
Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to make them come from Montreal, but to integrate them more, well, we have few strategies coming up. Like during the recruitment before the start in Montreal, is there a way they can be immersed in the community to understand them better before they start the career? Maybe that's one possibility. The other possibility, sometimes you thinking that the people who are living in Montreal are the ones that will be able to serve better the community. Well, it's not always true. We need police officers who have the soft skills, emotional intelligence, who are very interested by the community, by the difference, who are very alert by the bias that they have, even the unconscious bias that they have. Those police officers, we need them. And are they coming from Montreal? Are they coming from a suburb, from outside? I don't know, but this is all the skills and the competency that we're going to be looking into for the next police officer coming in Montreal.
All right, Chief Daguerre, we're going to run out of time. I do want to ask you, because this has come up many times before, the issue of body cams. The mayor's talked about it. There was a pilot project. It seems to have gone nowhere. Where do you stand on the issue of body cams for police?
Well, I agree, and I think it's a good idea to have the body cam on the police officer. I know the project pilot is now with the QPP. Soon we're going to hear the result and the conclusion, and then we'll see how we're going to implement it in Montreal. But from my point of view, the body cam is going to be one part of the way of good communication with community, but that's not the only tool. We have to look into the culture, into how we can proceed, how we can become a police officer in 2023. What kind of culture we should have to be able to serve well the community in the 21st century. So yes, the body cam is interesting, but also the behavior of our police officer, the approach, the politeness, the non-verbal attitude. This is all some issue we're going to be looking into it.
Okay, I would like to know, given that we've had a spate of homicides, femicides, how concerned are you about violence in the city? Is Montreal safe?
Montreal is safe, but I'm extremely concerned because we used to deal with organized crime before. Now we are dealing with disorganized crime. And this is an issue that right now we are having a hard time to anticipate. So most of the crime are announced on the virtual. So it's hard for us to be able, it's always on the social media, so we have to be watching all the time. But like I mentioned yesterday in my speech, it's one of my 3 objectives. I have to find a way to give more help to our investigation department, and I'm trying to create a new partnership with different institutions.
Chief Daguerre, we want to first of all congratulate you, as Natasha said off the top, for your appointment and wish you nothing but the best. It's a big job, big shoes to fill here, and we're all hopeful that you can do it. I know you're excited. You've been in policing, as you said, for many, many years, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Thank you so much.